Welcome back to Coach's Corner as we hit, unbelievably enough, Week 7 of the high school football season. Ponca City at Enid this week, and we'll talk about traveling over to Selby Stadium to play the Enid Plainsmen on Friday night. It's a great rivalry, like 2 or 3 really good rivalries Ponca City has. The Wildcats played their second-to-last home football game this past Friday night against Sand Springs homecoming. And for at least the first 24 minutes of that ball game, that was quite a game, Coach.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we showed up and did some things well. You know, offensively, we surpassed 300 yards again and moved the ball pretty consistently up and down the field most of the game. You know, defensively, we gave up against some big plays that hurt us in the long run, and then offensively, not scoring again in the red zone. Again, was also an Achilles heel. So, you know, that's where we're at. That's where we got to try to fix and get better at. But overall, again, players played hard again, you know, but we just didn't make some plays at some key times.
After the game, I said 47-17. It just didn't feel like a 30-point game because Ponca City's right there, even into the third quarter where they scored 3 touchdowns, but even at that, you just had a feeling maybe we had something left. But this ball game, folks need to realize it's 12-10 with about 30 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like you said, we played a great first half. Defense had a lot of stops and forced them to punt in the first half several times, and you know, offense. Gosh, again, we didn't capitalize 2 or 3 times in the red zone in the first half that I think really could have put us ahead and over the top. But other than that, again, we executed over. You know, most of the time we were executing very well on the offensive side, and even defensively we just gave up some big pass plays. You know, that's what killed us. Other than that, and not scoring in the you know, inside the 10-yard line. We really played with them all night long.
First play of the game, 81-yard touchdown pass, and the positive about that is then we get the ball back, we go down and score and take the lead.
Sure,
you know, some teams this time of year, boy, if you start harping on things and you let it get you down, it's hard to recover. Your guys, that first half, I think it might have been the best first half we've had all season.
Yeah. In many ways, I mean, yeah. When you see a big play like that, it kills you, you know, and that deal. And it just takes a few big plays to think you played bad. But when you take a look at all the game in its entirety, all the 100+ snaps, you know, we really did play like decent football, you know. And you're right. You can make an argument in some areas it was the best part we played.
It was 19-10 at halftime. Sand Springs came out, though, and hit a 72-yard screen pass early in the third quarter, kind of spread the game out a little bit, and then Sandite's good enough football team to control things from that point on. But the Wildcats certainly played them tough all the way. You got to realize, too, Coach, this was a 5-0 team that many people think, I'm not one of them, but many people think might challenge in those top 2 places in the district. I don't think they're that good, but they're a good team. They're 6-0 now, and they were challenged by the Wildcats.
There's a reason why they're 6-0. Their skill positions on offense are athletic and fast. Again, quarterback is as advertised, can move and throw on the run. You know, that number 21 they have is about as, you know, next to maybe the Stillwater guys is pretty one more faster, quicker guys we've played so far this season. So they are good defensively. They stopped our off tackle run. So their front 7 played well and really frustrated us at times. Yeah, they got a good ball club.
Yeah. Before the game, you just told me no turnovers, 4 penalties, and 300 yards of offense. I just said we got a good chance, and we really had a better chance than maybe that final score indicates.
Shows, yeah.
But there was a lot of improvement. This football team has gone from turnovers to no turnovers and penalties to no penalties and getting 3s and outs and getting stops. Big plays, well, that's part of high school football, and that's why usually the better team wins is because they can make 1 or 2 big plays.
Sure.
That's the difference, right?
It comes down to sometimes just several less. It comes down sometimes to literally 5-6 plays in a whole football game. And you're right. We got to learn. That's part of the learning process, maturation process. What you want to say is what we have to learn how to do, and don't worry, coaches. We are addressing that, we got still 4 more games this year to figure things out, and as far as not only to get some wins for these seniors this year, I want them to again to have some to make sure we're playing for them in this final month, but also we are also playing for the future juniors and sophomores, and whatever development we can get, especially psychological development of learning how to make big plays and learning how to win when we can. We need it's definitely going to be harped on this last month.
Of the 4 games Ponca has left, Enid, Booker T. Washington, which will be our final home game, and then Bartlesville and Tulsa Union. This game we have this Friday night, it looks as winnable as any of those games.
Sure. This is probably the, outside of Shawnee is probably the, in fact, Coach Tagliatella was tallying up all our opponents who we played this year, what their record is, and it was 27-11. Yeah, I think he was close, somewhere around there. 20-something and 11 was the I think it was 27-11. What he said was our opponents' records up to now. That's pretty good. So that means we haven't played too many teams that have been struggling this year. They're all having decent seasons per se, and so there's not just a weak one on the schedule. Enid, they've won their first 2 games, but since then has been like struggling a little bit. Not playing bad on film. Again, it's kind of like us when you watch film. To us, it's not like it's just horrible sloppy football. They just again have had some not made plays at times against them as well. So 2 teams with probably similar mental makeups. Going against each other, meaning we're hungry for a win. We need a win. They're looking to fix some things. We're looking to fix some things and learn how to make plays when presented. And so it's going to be a similar matchup on the field.
As you have found out when you live and coach in Ponca City, you might have one big rival, but you have a lot of rivals. And for the Wildcats, Stillwater's obviously a big rival, but Bartlesville's a big rival, and then Enid's a big rival. I mean, you can't get away from the fact that these communities are very similar in a lot of ways. The football teams are similar in a lot of ways. So we not only have one great rival, we have, I think, 3 great rivals, and one of them's in the Enid Plainsmen.
That's what's fun about this district and about being here in Ponca, is that there really is some rivalries. In fact, I'll be honest, at least currently, I bet our players they're really have a distaste for Enid, and it's not going to be difficult firing our guys up this week. I know what went on last year. There at their place. Is also our guys really want this game. Are excited about playing Enid, and I would say at least this year they're even more excited than Stillwater for this game.
Well, if people forgot, they threw 8 touchdown passes last year against us, and a wild game that was very explosive and high scoring. But Enid and Ponca, the distastefulness, and I say that in a complimentary way.
Yes.
Everybody wants to beat, and they're well coached. We're well coached. They got beat up pretty good by Union, though, and that may be one thing that we look at is we're still playing on a pretty high level. That Union team can do it to you. We saw Owasso do it, but they have to come into this ball game with a few doubts because of that.
Sure, and even after we played Owasso, we were a little beat up. They might be physically beat up a little bit too from that. No, this is a good time to go play.
Right.
But again, they're also looking at us saying we can get back on track versus Ponca City team, and so we're going to have to. They'll be ready for us. It'll be like you said, a very even matched ball game, and definitely one that if we do things right can come out on top.
And I believe they have a new coach over there, right?
Yes, Coach Chard. Yep.
Yeah. So there are again some similarities between Ponca City and Enid. Be a great game. Boy, the one thing about it, though, Coach, wasn't it fun to put on a sweater and wrap up a little bit the other night?
Yes, this weather is my favorite time of the year. This is really this. going into October and in the October weather, November weather is my.
Do you feel like that practices are brisker and that the guys really
Yeah.
get out there and get with it?
Oh yeah, I mean this weather makes everybody have a little enjoy to be outside, and it does help out with practice.
Coach,
Absolutely.
Good luck. We'll see you Friday night.
Yeah.
Ponca City Enid Friday night over at Bruce Selby Stadium. We'll be over there, and of course we'll look forward to seeing you supporting the Cats. That's Coach's Corner for this week. I'm Phil Turney.